Today we're going to talk about scissors. Welcome back to Short Stack Survival. I apologize for my voice. I'm just getting over a cold. So why would you want to get the Leatherman Trauma Shears over just a cheap pair? And that's a great question. I've put off buying the really nice Raptor shears for a long time because these do a great job. I just love the idea of a very high quality American made Trauma Shear, and in the Rescue series specifically, I love, the color options and that you get a really nice MOLLE sheath with it, so I could put it on. This is a HRT placard for my plate carrier, so I can swap these out, so I can pop these down in there quickly. And then I can, on this placard, I can fold these up and place them inside of this pouch here, and it fits in there perfectly. I believe they're around $70, which sounds like a lot when you can pick up a regular pair of scissors for a couple dollars, but these are in a league of their own. They are so much more capable, and the idea behind these is you can cut through clothing if you're trying to get to someone's injury, and a lot of other little tools on here that's kind of targeted for first responders. But recently Leatherman just came out with a new Raptor series called the Response. I was kind of curious, like, what's the difference? I believe they're about $10 cheaper than the Rescue series, so I wanted to get a pair, and that way I could compare for you guys if you're trying to decide which pair I'd like to pick up. Right off the bat, the Response does not come with a sheath. If you already have a pair of Leatherman Raptor Rescue shears, you may be wondering, will the new Response shears fit in the sheath? And no, they won't. They're much too thick no matter what angle you put them in, and when they're folded, they still won't fit. They're much too thick. So these are strictly, you're going to use the pocket clip here, or you're going to put them in a pouch, that sort of thing. So if you like the idea of having your shears in a sheath, I would go with the Rescue versus the Response. But one nice thing that both pairs have is a lanyard hole, and so that way you can get like a tether keeper or something like that, so you don't lose your scissors when you're using them in the field. In the closed position, the Rescue series, you just flip open like this. Very cool action, and you can get your scissoring on. So the Response has the exact same folding capability. There's a little button with a lock on it, and you push that and you fold them down. It's not really talked about on the website, so I was really surprised to find this out, but the holes in the scissors are much smaller on the Response than they are on the Rescue. So with my ungloved hand, the Response series actually feels better in my hands. Now, I have really small hands. They fit really nicely. I can get all 3 of my fingers in there. It's got this little groove that you can rest your finger while you're scissoring. And if all 3 fingers won't fit in the hole, you can take your pinky out. This video is going to be interesting. You can take your pinky out and place it here. That way you have more room. The Rescue version of the Raptor shears would be ideal if you had really big hands, or if you planned on using these with like winter gloves or something. So that's something to consider. The Rescue shears are just a tad bit longer. I think they're about the same weight, but on the website I think they have the specs. I'll put them up on the screen. When you fold the scissors, the Response is much thicker, so I was really surprised about that. Like, the thickness, the girth is much thicker than the Rescue, and so as you can see, the Rescue is much thinner overall, and yet the Response is shorter when it's folded than the Rescue. So all things to consider. Now, in terms of features, you do get a few features on the Rescue that you don't get with the Response, and that would be the cutter. It's for cutting seat belts. They both have an oxygen tank tool. One thing that the Rescue has over the Response is a carbide glass punch. Say you're trying to extract someone from a vehicle, you can punch the glass and get the person out. So that's pretty nice, and both scissors have a ring cutter. So if you have your ring on your finger and say your hand is swollen, you can get under there and cut that. They're both going to do an excellent job at cutting through heavy material. The blades are about the same length. They're both stainless steel. In terms of the cutting power, I'll try to demonstrate why these might be a better option for you in terms of cutting, because ultimately that's what scissors are for. It's nice to have all the other little doodads on here, but if they can't scissor well, what's the point of having them, right? So I'm doing the best I can, but I think I gotta dip into the fisherman friends. I'm starting to lose my voice, but hey, you know, the show must go on. It's this like cute little biscuit looking thing. So what about a pair of jeans? These are arguably some of the thickest material you may have to cut, and so let's see how these do. You know, it just takes more time. So what about regular shears? You know, these are kind of struggling too. I thought they'd do a little bit better, but you know, they are getting the job done. Once you get going with them, they work just fine though. So let's try the Leatherman Rescue and see how they do. Oh wow. Yeah, I mean, they work really good. Now let's try the response. You know, I have to say, the feeling in the hand is much better. God, I'm doing a crappy job cutting. It just feels a lot better, and so I think if you're gonna be using your scissors a lot, I definitely would recommend the response. They're just thicker, more rounded, they're more comfortable than these. There's a seam in here that your finger kind of gets a hold of. You probably wouldn't want to try to cut a ring off someone's finger with something as simple as scissors or a knife. You could hurt their hand. And so, you know, just trying to get it cut is just not going to work. They're not meant for that. You could try them with regular Trauma Shears, like a cheap pair. Yeah, I could tell it's starting to bend right in here. They're just not meant for that. And in fact, I might have kind of screwed them up a little bit. Yeah, you can see a dent in there now, so oh well. So with the Leatherman series, let's see how it does cutting through this simple ring. Imagine this is a ring and it's stuck on your finger. So a lot of times you wouldn't be able to get scissors under there, and so they have this ring cutter down here that you can get in there and cut. So I'm going to do this away from my finger just so I could show you. Definitely making my way through it. My hand strength is really bad. Well, it did cut through it. So here, let me try this again. So with the Raptor Rescue, let's see if we can't cut a little piece off of here. Yep. Pretty easy, not a lot of effort. And let's see the response. Yep, nice and easy. Let's try again with the regular shears and see. Nope, yeah, they're just not strong enough. Without proper training and tools, you don't want to do more harm than good. You can use items in an impromptu way, but having a good set of dedicated shears that are specifically meant for first aid application is, I think, very valuable. I think these complement first aid kits extremely well. In conclusion, which one would I get? If I could only buy one, I think it depends on the application. I definitely think the rescue shears are a great option. I love the Molly sheath, but in terms of if I had to use them all the time, these for my hands, the Raptor Response are much more comfortable. These could also make excellent gifts for Christmas time if they're an outdoors person, they're a first responder in the medical field. So I hope that helped you guys go over the differences between the Response and the Rescue and help you guys decide which one is the right one for you. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video.